Alright, streams here. Um, I am going to first off say, thanks Dual Daddy for having these images all neatly prepared. Uh, actually, um, let's hide that real quick, just in case if Twitter jump scare. Um, there we go. Oh, so Dual Daddy's tweet about it with the images of the cards in the set. But yeah, let's actually look at this $20 product and evaluate if it's actually worth the $20. If it's actually gonna teach a person how to play the game. Um, so actually looking over the decks, what the hell am I looking at here? Burden of the Mighty is in here for the Xyz deck. I guess that makes sense, except it doesn't because we're also the one on Eldritch. Um, is that the freaking King Tiger thing who freaking retrain? Why is that here? Barbaros has no reason to be here. In fact, it has like anti-synergy outside the fact that I guess you can normal summon it as a 4.
The one that confuses me the most is the Xyz deck having levels that can't add up to their Xyz.
Yeah, no, I don't understand like why are they why is Dark Magician Girl here? Why is Dark Magician here? Like you could have done something with this and make it like a DM deck that had an Xyz focus. There's a way to do that. Like you could have just done that and maybe have the other one a Blue Eyes deck with Blue Eyes Synchros in it. And like the Synchro deck has barely like any tuner monsters in here. Like what? One, two, three, four, five tuners in total. Why do both of them have 7 vanillas in them? Why is the launcher spider of one of the vanillas in here? Like I get like okay, if you're gonna show off a vanilla monster, it should be like DM or Blue Eyes or something. But like, why is Jess Queen's Knight here without the other two? Why is Sword Stalker here? Rabbit Dragon is here. Why are there level 8s in here with no rank 8 to go into? Um, yeah, I don't understand this. What what warrior are we returning alive? Was it Vsauce? and Sparkman. We have two warriors in this entire deck, and we have a card that only adds back warriors to your hand. Like, I know it's a scripted duel, but why would you do that? I get these are gonna be like scripted duels, and I get like I don't understand though. They're just scripting that you will have a trade in at one point in your hand, and then discard Rabbit Dragon. Is that it? Why? Worst part is that the Xyz monsters themselves in here are pretty good Xyz monsters. Castell's pretty good, Emerald's alright, Giga Brilliant's at least a card that can exist. And building up into Zeus is pretty good. I wish there was like another Xyz monster in here. Like 5 feels like a bare minimum kind of number for this kind of thing. Why is Card D in here? Like, why would you want to pass your turn in the Synchro deck? Apprentice Piper, I think, is actually not like a bad idea, to be honest. But like, again, there's 8 freaking. There's 8 vanillas in here, and the ones in the Synchro deck don't even do anything. They're just bad. And I feel like the synchros in this one are way worse than the bare minimum synchros in the freaking or the bare minimum Xyz that we're getting in the freaking thing. Okay. Let me actually try to even read what synchros we're looking at here. Coral Dragon's a good card. Dirgy. What? What is this card? Stygian Surgeons? This card destroys opponent's monster balance in his graveyard. You have this carry 100 attack until the end of the battle phase. I can make a second attack in a row. Oh, come on. And it's not even generic. It takes fiends specifically. Why are we teaching them with this card?
Well, there are resonators.
There are resonators, and again, it's a scripted duel, so it's not like, oh, you're not gonna have what you need to make it, but it's just like, why? At least give them cards that they might have a chance of seeing exist. This card, no one's gonna play this card ever. What does the Rhino Smasher do? I at least have seen this one before.
Uh,
Gains a bunch of attack.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the one
Um,
that abuses non-once per turns.
it doesn't even do that. I don't think.
Oh, is it not that one?
No. You could just discard any number of cards at once. I guess it isn't. Yeah, no. Each effect once per turn. No. It in fact does care. There are like interesting level 7 synchros you could put into this slot, and you put Rampaging Smash Tank here. But
Negates the effects. Okay.
like, and it's not even like
Not the
bad.
worst.
It's just not.
Not the bad.
This could have been Samurai Destroyer.
Well, that would be a cool reprint.
That'd be a cool reprint and a card that, at minimum, is like functional enough to play if you were to like want to play the with the cards you bought to learn the game at the local level, right?
Should have been
Because
a
you
Black Rose reprint.
because realistically, you want to be able to play with people, and the way to do that is that you're gonna bring the cards you have to locals to play with people. But like outside of Coral Dragon, all of these synchros are bad. And why would you try to teach people how to play with a synchro like Prime Heart? This is a card that's built to confuse people when they look at the synchro mechanic. Like, why do we have so much battle tricks in here? Like, at least give them like a fiendish chain or something. A breakthrough skill. Something to interact with your opponent outside of the battle phase. You want to teach people how to play the game, and where, or just in general, just like these cards don't help them learn. Like, you can have battle tricks in here, like Storm Mirror Force, that's a generally okay card to have. Sometimes it helps if you're playing a control deck. That card could potentially see play in like a almost competent pile of cards. Galaxy Cyclones, fine. Like Dark Hole's okay, but it's just like so much of this just feels like it's not built to do what's supposed to do. Okay. And then looking at the Xyz one, it's like there's ideas here. There's like they're trying their best here, but still not good enough. Honestly, like there are good flip monsters that you could put in here that at least are somewhat irritating to deal with. You could put like mimicking Maneater Bug in here instead of like White Ninja. For the Cyber Dragon, you replace that with Photon Thrasher. That's not the point of this. I'm angry. There are so many interesting Xyz related spell traps that you could put in here that are both battle related or removal related. That would have been cool. But instead, the only Xyz spell trap that's in here is Xyz Reborn. You could have had like a rank up magic in here and have like Utopia and rank it up into like Utopia Ray V or something. It's not like a good card, admittedly, but it'd be an interesting thing to do, or probably a more interesting thing to do would actually have like a rank up spell for like 101 into C101. That would actually be pretty interesting because that's like an actual guy they have to like try to beat. That would be a cool, interesting boss monster that the Xyz deck is missing, unless you want the boss monster for the Xyz deck to be Eldritch. Zeus is like cool and all, but I don't really consider him as like a boss monster necessarily. He's just like part of the board. There's so many level 5 synchros in this game. There's so many level 5 synchros in this game. There has to be like a better one. Armades already looks so much better to play with. And that one is generic. Cataster! You could have had Cataster there! Cataster could almost be a boss monster in and of itself! Left. The morning ick in my throat. Quote unquote morning. It's 3 o'clock, but I woke up really late. Yeah, Cataster would have been a great card to have there, and then have like a cool moment where the Xyz deck freaking summons like Castell to get rid of it or something. Or summon a dark rank 4 to deal with it. Oh, and the other thing that could help fix this problem that I'm having with this is put another tuner in here. You could put like Jet Synchron in here and have Jet Warrior. Jet Warrior's a crazy cool card. A guy that can revive himself, a guy that bounces a card up back to the hand on summon. This guy's so cool. And then if you want like a guy that just attacks twice, Chambara is perfect for that. Chambara is so good. And it'll work really well too because you could just have like after like you could have like a situation where you have after the Castell was spent to shuffle away like the Cataster if you want. If you want to have two level 5s, you could then have an easy way to get into Chambara to attack over it and tag in. Ah, my god. Wind Pegasus would be an amazing level 7 to put in here, actually. Now thinking about it. In terms of 7s. Or maybe if you want something more iconic, you could literally just put Black Rose in here. But at least Samurai Destroyer keeps in the theme of like the battle phase, which I still don't think is a correct thing to really do. There's so many interesting cards that you can use to make this way more interesting in terms of like getting a bunch more synchros summoned throughout the game, bunch more Xyz summoned throughout the game, having ways to recycle them better, because the only freaking card to recycle the freaking Xyz monster is Xyz Reborn and Call the Haunted, and it's just like where Xyz Reborn actually does do something okay to fix that issue, Call the Haunted doesn't. And the only thing the Synchro deck has is literally just back to the front to bring back a Synchro. And the craziest part is it's supposed to come with like a 64-page teaching comic book. I think there's a much more interesting way to have this comic book thing teaching you in the means of like I'm pretty sure there was like a live duel at like one of the events back in 2017 or something, right after all the DM support around that time was printed, like after Dark Illusions at some point around there, where they had freaking the voice actors from the show have their Dark Magician versus Blue Eyes deck, and somehow, we're not trying to maybe use that as the basis for an Xyz versus Synchro deck. You know, the nostalgia bait that actually works sometimes. Like I wouldn't even mind seeing like it be just a Dark Magician deck versus a Blue Eyes deck if they actually support them well. And it's just like, ah, God. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And I think that's like a better way to show off like vanillas, because it's just like the only way vanillas work is when they have a bunch of other cards supporting them, and would actually show players the concept of actually having like archetypes. Like you'll have actual archetypes to work with like the Eyes of Blue, like level 1 spellcasters, and like the freaking magician cards and the stuff that helps Dark Magician is archetype adjacent enough. And it'd be cool to have like a comic that has Yugi versus Kaiba in it, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be way cooler? Instead, we have the freaking synchro deck with having freaking Apache in it. Why are you here? Spear of the Harp is a freaking Launcher Spider and Rioran are here. Why are they here? Why is Sparkman here? Neither of these decks have any real extenders in them, which is just disappointing, I feel like. Uh, like, let me double, like, you have, like, the one play in here that's, like, the Vsauce thing, and, you have that one guy that I forget how to, Obsessive Uva whatever. I think he can reborn himself, right? Yeah, after you already commit to a Synchro Monster, he can revive himself. That's so bad. Because neither of those resonators do anything that's significant. I know that. And then the Xyz deck, it's like, where's like Goblinberg? Like, where's like the first easy guy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just the decks are bad. Yeah, and that's not like that's cool that Zeus getting a reprint and Vsauce getting a reprint. Sure, those are like cool things, and there's some other reprints in here that are like interesting, I guess. The Coral Dragon was shockingly like $5 to $10, so getting it from here is probably a little cheaper than that. Um, I don't know, maybe Eldritch. Is there Edison reprints in here? What are you setting Magician of Faith in Edison? The answer to that is no. Like, I guess I don't even remember if Call the Han is legal at that point. Well, yeah, Goat, sure, but like, what Edison reprints here? Like, what, a Cyber Dragon? Like, oh boy, Cyber Dragon, just what I needed. In common rarity, oh boy, just what I needed. Kelvin, Cyber Dragon's one of the cheapest cards ever. There's really like millions of copies of both Cyber Dragon and Book of Moon that are pretty cheap already, or at least Cyber Dragon. I haven't checked Book in a while, but Book hasn't been seeing play consistently either. Okay, Bovin, you're really just saying like, oh, for someone who somehow knows what Edison is but doesn't know what TCG player is. You are trying to think of a non timeline that exists. People aren't just going to know what Edison format is without having access to the internet and thus being suggested ads for TCG player when they're looking into Edison, because those are the ads that play on those websites that tell you about Edison. The only real like significant reprint in here, I think, for Edison is like honestly, I guess Sidra, but like DD Crow too, I guess. But even then, it's just like these aren't cards that are like hard to get your hands on. They're not, is the problem. The only upside is just Vsauce reprint and Zeus reprint. And maybe Eldritch, I guess. Because I guess Eldritch may not have gotten a reprint in a while? I don't know. That's probably not even true. I need way more water. And they're just not teaching you good habits through this. There should be no universe where you have 7 vanillas in your deck. You shouldn't be teaching people how to play the game when the cards have when every card that you're gonna see another person play is always gonna be an effect monster unless it's specifically DM. That's the only one of these normal monsters you're ever gonna see. Honestly, that's fair. It's just like there are ways to make this more interesting, and I'm really wanting to work on that. It happens. Like having like a funny card to like do the thing, sure, I guess. Except it's just like, why would you teach people with these cards that don't make sense to teach them with? Oh my god. I am losing my throat right now. I don't know. I was hoping that at minimum, like, yeah, you can have a dark magician in here. Like, looking at this, you can have a dark magician here. You can have interesting synchro cards to do like a synchro pile, and these just aren't it. They aren't it, man. But yeah, I'm gonna off stream try working with people to try making like a actual interesting version of this that can maybe actually help people learn how to play because this is a failure. This is a failure to new players trying to get into the game. This is not a helpful thing. This isn't helping people. This is really about as bad as it can get. Like, it's insane how bad these are. Like, oh my god. Alright. Um, I don't know. I think I'll end this for now. I'll stream later today. I just wanted to get, I just wanted to vent, get my ideas off my chest. Just, I just needed something. I just needed something, and this was that something. Oh my god. Actually terrible. Ah. Alright. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. I'll see you all later. This was Tack. And next time you see me, either I'll be, I don't know, playing video game or have actual results from this. Doodles.